It's Ramsey Dewey over here in Shanghai, China. Today we're going to do a reaction video. But Coach, you're always telling us to act and not react. That's true. But we're not talking about fighting today. Well, we are, because it's a fighting-related thing we're reacting to. It's a movie trailer. But not just any movie trailer. It's a fan trailer by our friend Big Fan Trailers. Go check out the channel if you're not familiar. They do some fantastic work with these fan-made trailers for movies that we wish existed, but for whatever reason, the producers over in Hollywood can't get their act together to make these awesome movies. This one is titled Bloodsport Redo, or Redux, kind of a play on words, play on the idea of Frank Dukes. Now, Bloodsport did get a couple of sequels, Bloodsport 2, 3, 4, but the fans didn't receive them as well as the first because, well, a lot of reasons, one of which they didn't have Jean-Claude Van Damme. It didn't have the continuity of the character Frank Dukes portrayed by Jean-Claude Van Damme, and it's important to separate the idea of the character in the movie Frank Dukes from the actual man. Now, I know there's a ton of controversy around the actual man. Let's talk about that a little bit. Frank Dukes made some wild claims, some crazy claims, and yeah, man, we don't need to rehash all of those, but he made some some pretty intense claims that got the fans, the martial artists of the world, and everybody else just raising their eyebrows all the way up, and yeah, going to the internet to talk all about it. Now, if Frank Dukes had simply maybe produced the script or the idea for Bloodsport and said, you know, this is kind of inspired by events of my life, that would be a totally different thing. What's his name? Yoshihisa Kishimoto, I think he was, the guy who developed video games for Technos Japan, like Double Dragon 2, The Revenge, the Kunio series, better known in the West as River City Ransom, Renegade. You know, basically, the dude invented the beat-em-up genre. He said that he based these games on his life in high school. Now, he didn't say, you know, I was this martial arts master in high school. He basically said he got into some scraps and some trouble and had some fights and so on. And that's okay. That's fine to base a character on real-life experience. I mean, the best writers do that. They go out, they research topics, so they're not just making stuff up completely, but still we know it's fiction at the end of the day, right? Which is why, you know, fans of Double Dragon and the River City Ransom series, etc., they love those games. They resonate with us because there's a little bit of truth, there's a spark of truth, there's a tough guy inside of all of us that got into some scraps back in the day when we were kids, and we feel like it's fun to play out that fantasy in a fictional universe like a video game or a movie. And with Bloodsport, Frank Dukes kind of gave us the opportunity to do that until he started saying, yes, this is 100% actual fact, including the blinded helicopter kick KO at the end. Anyway, I digress. We're here to watch a trailer. Let's react. So, here we go. Alright, they got some logos.
This is tournament. It's a big tournament.
Got some footage from other movies.
47 years later, we're still talking about it. Why do you think he's
With
been
Van
able to
Damme.
stand the test of time?
He's a man of honor.
Got some shots from the actual actors from the first movie.
Himself just bullshit everything
Yeah.
and moved
Dude who
everything
played
around.
Paco right there.
Only the strong survive. I happen to know for a fact that Dukes is telling the truth.
Whose voice is that?
Go next. Who is the next? Nobody. They've been asking me the same question for the last 25 years.
Oh, that's a sweet transition. Well, they like edit out the background there. That was cool.
I have poured all my knowledge into you. When you fight, my spirit fight with you.
Well, this is really well produced.
Than anything else. So this is going to be our best shot. So I can surely run that this week.
And this is a really well made fan trailer. Awesome, man. Awesome, man. That's such a well-made fan trailer. I mean, there are some fan trailers out there that are just like, okay, it looks like a 8-year-old put this together. No offense to 8-year-olds out there, but this was really well done. Just really, really sharp. And I happen to know for a fact that Dukes is telling the truth. That's my voice. That's my voice.
I happen to know for a fact that Dukes
So if you
is
don't know,
telling.
I made a video some time ago titled I Was Wrong About Frank Dukes. One of our friends who's been following this channel for a while, goes by the screen name DHS, wrote me this very long comment. It was amazing, like the most amazing comment ever, explaining that he had proof substantiating Frank Dukes' claims because he was there too.
So I'm going to read this comment correcting the errors that I made in that video from our friend DHS, who says, I happen to know for a fact that Dukes is telling the truth. I happen to know for a fact that Dukes is telling the truth.
I'm not going to spoil that for you completely, but go check out the video. But our friend DHS, if you were a fan of that original video, I was wrong about Frank Dukes. He wrote another one, which I'm going to read for you right now, substantiating the claims of Frank Dukes. So all of you Dukes haters out there, all of you Dukes doubters out there, prepare yourselves emotionally, physically, spiritually, and in every other way for the proof you need that Frank Dukes was in fact telling the truth. Here we go. DHS says this, I happen to know for a fact that Frank W. Dukes is for real. I, too, had a very interesting career in the military and CIA. It all started when I was 16 years old. Due to my martial arts prowess, I was recruited by the U.S. Navy and flew M1 Abrams tanks off carriers for them. I served in the same squadron with Tom Cruise, Val Kilmer, and Flash Gordon. He was the best man at my wedding to Miss Saigon. I even went to Top Gun school with Tom and Val and won the trophy. My tank racked up more kills than all the other tanks in my squadron combined. Later on, my squadron CO accused me of being too aggressive, so I had to knock him out with a spinning flying squirrel kick to the balls. Needless to say, I spent some time in the brig, where the guards made us prisoners fight in Kumite-style death matches, which they took bets on. The guards would host the matches and secretly bring in VIPs from high levels of government and industry. Some of the people who watched me fight were the President of the United States, the VP, Secretary of Defense, senators, congressmen, Pat Sajak from Wheel of Fortune, and the manager of the Waffle House. After executing several hundred prisoners, it was determined that I was too deadly to be kept in the brig, so I was transferred over to the U.S. Coast Guard, where I flew B-2 stealth bombers because they were short pilots and bombardiers. I never needed a bombardier on my crew because I can use my chi to guide bombs to the target with pinpoint accuracy. After single-handedly destroying an entire Afghan city full of Taliban Buddhists, I was recruited by the CIA. I can't talk much about it, about what I did for the CIA, but let's just say I have more confirmed kills than all other CIA agents, Army SEALs, Navy Delta Forces, Air Force Recon, and Marine Corps Para-Rescue. I'm trying to get through this. Seriously, guys. Combined! Due to my amazing prowess in the field, the director of the CIA personally selected me to become the youngest ever and one of only 12 Pokemon trainers in the entire CIA. You gotta catch 'em all. That's what I did. Due to the extremely high classification of the project and need for absolute secrecy, our base of operations was the psych ward at Bethesda Naval Hospital. It was there that I became familiar with prison-type suicide watch operations. Consequently, my final classified mission was coordinating with British MI6, the royal family, and Hillary Clinton to help out my and Hillary's good friend Jeffrey Epstein with his assisted suicide. That's dark, man. Since retiring, the CIA has been nice enough to provide housing for me at the Greenview psychiatric hospital because there have been multiple attempts on my life by Russian Spetsnaz, Yakuza, Ninja, and Sub-Saharan Oompa Loompa Commandos. This is serious, guys. Stop laughing. They've also provided me with a substantial guard detail when I write my memoirs. My publisher is already in negotiations with Disney, and it looks like we are well on our way to my life story becoming part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, whatever the hell that is. Bottom line is, there are a lot of people out there who pretend to be something they are not. Everything in my life story is 100% factual. I know because I lived it. People like Dukes, Steven Seagal, Van Damme, Stallone, the Power Rangers, briefly served with them too. The Teletubbies, Derek Zoolander, these are all great patriotic Americans, but at the end of the day, when you compare their on or off-screen achievements to mine, I simply make them all look like sopping wet, velvet-lined not bragging, just stating fact, semper flatulence. Well, DHS, once again, I know that's an old comment, but thank you for your service, sir. That was amazing. So, Bloodsport Redo fan trailer. I wish it was real. We all wish it was real. We can only dream. So tell me what you thought of the trailer and DHS's amazing comment in the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching. Now get out there and Trey.